What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 16 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Fay Enchantress Old World Classic campaign. So as we saw last time, northern Bretonnia is in flames, while central Bretonnia has been shamed by the Brigands and doing what the lords could not. In light of these matters, these grave matters I should say, the Fay Enchantress has called the dukes to a council of war, and the dukes have answered. The 4 legendary lords, 5 counting Rapants, have been added to our roster, and we'll be getting a couple more as well. Oh, actually 6 counting Alberic, and 7 counting Bowmen Beastslayer, so a fair few. They will be getting their armies and their themes, and then they will be fighting in all directions in reasonably short order, thanks to, once again, the Forced Confederation mod, or whichever Confederation mod this is that I'm using here. Anyway, other than that, I promised a double episode today, and this is that double episode, so promise fulfilled, or it will be after the completion of this episode, in which we will be proceeding to declare war on the Ironclaw Orcs because they are uncomfortably close to us and don't like us very much, and, well, once again continuing to build those armies, taking out the threat of Moussillon for good, as, well, if the other dukes can't be relied upon to do anything, they can certainly not be relied upon to bring down the Red Duke. Anyway, let's see what we got to do in this particular turn. René Deniot, I do believe we were going to upgrade some of these units, but we can do so next turn, so it's not the most critical work in the world. Although, admittedly, I could also do it now. It's not like we don't have the money. Let's say... wait, actually, what can regular peasants be upgraded to? They could be upgraded to mounted yeomen if we should want them, but I'm not sure that they're needed here. These guys are reasonably high ranked. The battle pilgrims can only be upgraded to Grail relics. Peasants can be upgraded to additional battle pilgrims, however, which we could probably use. Again, a decent likelihood that well, a fair few of these units in this particular army are just going to be temporary. These are all spearmen at arms, which definitely want to be shielded spears. And let's get a couple of pole arms as well. Like so. You guys are going to be mounted. Oh, you have to be upgraded. Oh, you have to be fairly high rank in order to be upgraded. All right, let's poxify you guys then. Like so. And then these are the basic Tier 1 men-at-arms. We could try to get them all the way to foot squires. I don't see it happening at this time, though. Alright, so yeah, let's temporarily... Well, you know, maybe we should keep 2 peasant mobs. Alright. Again, this army is going to get a retrofit in a proper army, but it is no longer, considering the advent of all the new legendary lords, will be a priority at this time. So, in light of that, let's get a couple more pole arms. Could use the additional armor piercing in case we encounter things whose, well, armor needs to be pierced. Let's also upgrade you too, because you have the higher ranks. There we go. 4 pole arms, a couple of spears, so plenty of anti-large. The battle pilgrims to do the anti-infantry work, or at the very least the damage, plus a little bit of range and a single knightly unit, until we retrofit the army. Inez and Verna are guardians, and they don't need to move. Luan will stay with René, leveling up Gotrek and Felix until they get their caravan army, but we don't yet have allegiance with the Empire or anybody we can build caravans with, so we're waiting on that. Leonard, I have an idea for you. The legendary lord here, you have the beloved by small folk trait, so yeah, we're gonna use some of the brigand raiders maybe, together with some other brigand types. I have some ideas I think will work nicely. Anyway, the rest of this, I believe, there is nothing to do. Oh, wait, there is still the heroes to move. I did the rest of the admin with the little mini Confederation of Montfort, meaning because... mini, rather, because it had only 1 settlement. And who the heck is Melvin here? Oh, this guy. Yeah, you're fine. You just sit there, buddy. Sit there. Let's do the rest of the tech thievery. Just double checking what this is. Okay, now everything looks fine. And Thieving Damsel, you are the last of the tech thieves for now. Steal from Kazad Elgazund. And I'd really love to resummon that Green Knight there. So, let's go to the next turn and prepare to do so. Building upgrade available, damage... I'm like 90% sure that damaged building or... Yeah, it's one of the forts. And we did get a couple of forts for our trouble. Now, first things first, let's see if Alberic de Bordeleuux gets attacked by Sloppy Crookshank, a rogue fleet that is purposely within range, as in we moved Alberic to where the rogue fleet could in theory attack him. As to whether they will remains to be seen, but it would be nice if it did. The dwarfs didn't just attack this and take it, did they? Can't quite tell if that army moved or... Elspeth, what do you want? Strength rank 4, not bad. Military alliance. So far, we only have military alliances with the... you know what? I'm going to say no for now. We will probably eventually do a military alliance with them. Oh, right. I wanted to send somebody to pick up a few ogres from that camp, if at all possible. And we should still do that. Especially because somebody's going to get upset and wipe those guys out. I don't imagine that it's a high-level camp, but you never know. Also, last episode, the Slaaneshi didn't declare war on us, but they did wipe out the lizardmen in the mountains, so they will probably declare war upon us in short order, and Lokir Felhart's faction declared war upon us, so there is that. And we don't know where they're going to show up. But, was that the dwarfs? I just saw an army moving around here, I'm pretty sure, and it wasn't this army, was it? I guess we're gonna find out. Alrighty, and the rats too cowardly to attack Alberic in the sea, which, you know, fair enough. Supervisor. And really, Arguelon's gonna confederate Anmer? That's really irritating. And the reason that this is very irritating is because Anmer we were allied with, and Arguelon we were also technically allied with, but yeah. That's another faction we cannot recruit from. Frickin' Wood Elves, stop confederating each other. Hey, more man-eaters, nice. Warrant of Trade, hello. Now that's real nice. 20% from tariffs and sale value of cargo, 15%. Let us... Oh. Sale value of cargo. This has to go to a caravan. Darn, okay, that's gonna be dangerous. Alright, but it is what it is. Let's select one of you guys, and ancillaries. Wait, actually, no, why didn't I just select caravan? Caravan. The strongest caravan has to get that. I gotta go with the one with the Iron Drakes and the Winged Lancers. It's pretty darn good. In fact, we'll be slowly removing the weaker units like the Men-at-Arms because they're a weaker variant of this unit. And same with the Peasant Bowmen than we otherwise would have. I think maybe we'll start with the Peasant Bowmen, in fact. Oh, yeah. Alright, we will remove one of you right now. So that we have room for 2 in case that this army needs to be, that the units need to be swapped out. And Esteban, you are our first caravan. You will have the Warrant of Trade. Who else? You already have the Smuggler space and the Wheelwright, and we could really use knowledge of the land, so maybe we forego the better scales and the cargo capacity until we can get your Wayfarer into knowledge just for that Strider. Strider is real nice. It was only a matter of time. Alrighty, now these two are returning to capital, which means either we... I mean, this one just got a significant amount more ogres. I'm just wondering whether it means that we should set up a new caravan. Wait, what was the new tech that we were doing? Yeah, we got the adds 2 new squires. Maybe we can set up a new caravan. Alright, we got longbow tactician, which includes more archers. And that's 4 archers, a couple of knights of the realm, which is fine. A dwarf friend. We were sending more caravans to the dwarfs as well. Although I would imagine that these are also, yeah, they're the weaker variants of the dwarfs. I'm pretty sure these guys should have more than 10,000 health at the very least. Well, then again, 15k on the dwarf warriors. Is that normal? You know what? I would like to see. We should have dwarfs nearby where we can check their health. Because just if this is buggy, then we should pay attention to what's going on here. You. I'm sure you have... Really? You don't have dwarf warriors? Actually, wait, what's your max HP? No, 15,000, so that one works fine. Alright. Well then. Jourdain, you're going to be joined by this dwarf friend, Guillaume d'Outremer. You will get on field, buddy. And thanks to the new Tier 5 taverns, our new caravan masters start at rank 5. So hidden stores and wayfinders are the 2 important ones. Then... Oh, actually, I probably should have set up Inspiring Presence for you. Ah, well, whatever, you'll level. And then you, my friend, will travel to... I'm pretty sure we did Karazakharag before, so we'll do Berikvar now. Though, ooh, you have to pass through Grenstad. I don't like that, because we're gonna be at war with these guys. You know what? Change of plans, you're going to Zufbar. Or even Krakadren. We'd travel through the territories of these guys then who could attack our caravan. Yeah, I'm gonna say we'll go to Zufbar. Mr. Dwarf Friend. Also, Karazakarak would be better because, or even Barakavar, because this is more sort of dwarfen territory that we'd potentially travel through, but yeah, just go to Zufbar. Be safe for now, buddy. Alright, pledge to knowledge, Guillaume d'Outremer Caravan, and, oh right, because he's on field now. And, oh right, wait, let me give me a moment. So, the level 10 caravans, are you able to take your vow? No. Okay, so pledge to duty, complete caravan 2 times, yeah, I completely forgot about that. And nobody reminded me. Tusk. Pledge to Manan, complete caravan to Araby. Yeah, that's not happening. Relustria, not happening. And pledge to Generosity. There's literally nothing there. what does that mean? I gonna say Generosity. I don't know if anything will happen here, but whatever. Do something, I guess. Alrighty, what about you two? You accept new units into a caravan case, so you're still working on your thing. And then you, pledge to duty. There you go. Yeah, I completely forgot that these guys actually need to be pledged and not just, you know, sitting there. But it is what it is. And then you, sir, are rank 11, you're saving your points, so the rest of that is good. Ooh, this caravan, though. With the 4 Wildwood Rangers and Deepwood Scouts, that's a very nice one, you gotta admit. Anyway, that's the caravans. Let's see what else we've got for ourselves. Fay Enchantress. We're gonna start with you today. Now, are we safe to attack the orcs, is the question. Huh? Are you under siege? Oh, you are under siege. Interesting. You go all the way to Kypros, then. I don't think these guys will win. At the very least, I doubt it. Alrighty, so we'll do that. Then we... Oh, right. So another turn has elapsed, therefore we can do, I guess, the last sort of confederation. I say sort of because there's a few factions that are gone that we should still quote-unquote confederate, just because we're pretending to be researching technologies that we don't have access to. As in, technologies that we should have access to, but you remember the deal. Anyway, yeah, so this is Caravans. And we waited because I wanted this to be maxed out. Good. Let us go with Confederation du Caravans. Right here. There we go, and this will have given us a couple new lords and a bunch more troops that will once again cripple our income. Confederation with Caravan. Ooh, charge bonus for knights. That's nice. Ooh, control for all provinces. Ooh, research rate. That's only 10%. That's not so. Ooh, we have plenty of research rate. I gotta go with the faction-wide knight buff. It's not much, but frankly, our control is pretty good. Those brothels that the Bretonnians just love to build seem to be doing pretty well. Also, Caravans seems like a great place to have a good time, which means we need a brothel. I mean, what I was starting to say before I made myself laugh like an idiot is that this will be a good military hub, partly because we already have the peaks of Caravans there, and partly because, oh wow, 100 chivalry per turn, that's solid, and partly because it's only a 2-settlement province. So that makes it pretty good in that light as well. Let us get rid of the Carpenter's Workshop. Let's build the Cathedral of the Lady. We have the construction cost reduction here as well. Do we get rid of the water wheel? What do we have room for here? Frankly, the Royal Barracks should be transferred to Gruner. We can build the Siege Workshop here. We could build the Sacred Pool. We should build the Arimo Hideout, which could also be built there if we take out the farm. I want to have access to all units here if possible. So this is 1, 2. This needs to be swapped. Yeah, so it's effectively 2 buildings that we need, so we would then just have room for the... Yeah, alright. I think this works. Alright, then that light we will transfer the Royal Barracks to here. We will build the Siege Workshop here. And the Arimo thing here. And then we can actually keep the landed estate if we really desire to do so. Unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, we won't have room for the the Lost Suns thing, unless we get rid of the water wheel, though. Which is nice, but it's not super critical here. So let's get rid of that, and then Grenier, to counteract the loss of the money, we will delete the farm here. Maybe. Well, you know what? Keep it for now. I might swap it out later on, but right now it's not critical. Well, let's see what else we got here. You are disciplined. We can keep that. Head out this way. You. We have another hero, another friar, which is... I didn't even know friars could be cunning. That's good. Alright, I'm keeping you, obviously not necessarily in this army. What do we have here? Virtue of bolstered attack. That's a decent virtue. And what about you two? Okay, you two can be deleted. We're not paying for you, and then you can be reset. Like so. I fear we will not actually need you. Arnaud the Devoted, you have Strategist. That's a nice one. We're gonna have to reset you and put you to work, buddy. And we have a peasant mob with a bonus 10 armor, so we might actually make use of you at some point, possibly, maybe. Anyway, you can be reset as well. Then, Esme, where we'll take a look at this in a second. We should have gotten the Legendary Lord, yes. Cassien de Caravans. What do we have here? Looks like most of the units have the buffs. You have 2 paladins with you, which are the exceptional, impetuous knight with this exceptional offensive and stoicism. Stoicism is terrible, so you are going to be deleted, sir. And what about the friar? You have boost cravings, which is fine. It's not as good as some of the other stuff, but it's fine. What about the lord, who is rank 7, mind you? It's not that high. Upkeep reduction for, oh, it's Paravant, yeah, so of course it's going to be flyers. So we'll give you some more flyers with, ooh, some very strong buffs for them, too. You have the Hippogriff, you have the Ladies' Champion, which heals you a little bit. Recruitment cost reduction, physical resistance, bonus when fighting jerks, and hey, tradable Vanguard deployment for full army. Oh, that's very interesting. And a little bit of growth for all provinces. Alright. You probably don't need peasant proficiency, nor maybe worshippers of the Grail, depending on how we do that. That said, you do need to be reset then. Meaning, do we have a lord that we can put in here that is free? As in a lord that we had recruited before? Yes, we do. We have Mariam d'Outremer. Unless, wait. I was hoping to join these 2 armies together, but that's not gonna fly, is it? No dice. Alright, fine. We'll take command of this army for now with Mariam. So reset all skill points, like so. And Mariam, you take this. Good. And switch briefly to spread the word, I guess. Lovely. Alright. And we'll keep these troops for now since, again, 54 rather. You are getting 9 from this. Is 45 your base, or is 35 your base? See, that's the thing, I don't remember. You guys are 45. Meaning those guys do have the bonus 10 armor. Well, isn't that lovely? Alrighty. And I guess everybody here can be kept so that we don't have to redo any of these units. Rebuild, rather. We'll put them to use, is what I'm saying. Alright, pretty happy about that. Then, I believe I said I was going to convert the Royal Menagerie here. And Montfort is kind of in a similar position to Castle Paravant, which would make it a nice military hub, because once again, we don't have a lot of buildings here, though at least I have the Gem Cutter's Workshop. Something to think about it, but we could obviously transfer the Royal Barracks to Theraville. Though for now, we'll leave it because we may use it to recruit. Alright, the other thing is we got this territory with it, and we don't need either of you. And do we need the city watch here? I'm gonna say no, at least not over the salt. Build the farm. Do we need the Grail Chapel here? We build the salt, and we... I think it's fine as it is. It's a yellow territory, so it doesn't really matter over much as well. Then, the other thing that I wanted to do is try to trade Bergenhofen for Erlach with the Empire.
Welcome, brothers, from
Erlach for Bergenhofen. Yes, and I'd love to steal their money, but let's face it, Karl kind of needs it, so I'm not gonna. So Bergenhofen for Erlach, unless I'm mistaken, like so. Yes. Right. Alrighty, and the reason I want Bergenhofen is to potentially trade it for Montlac.
Talk at me in your crude language if you must.
Montlac for Bergenhafen. Minus 73. Okay, well then we will need to upgrade Bergenhafen and give it more military stuff. Alright, and uncollect just because we need to build it up as much as possible. I hope that this is still worth a decent amount, or if... You know what? I'm gonna say convert you to a regular rally field just in case the AI doesn't recognize it as a military building. It should, but... I mean, we all know how the AI is, so let's not take any chances. And then this would be the last territory that we need out of here, but, you know, without having to worry about... the Ziflin dwarfs and fighting them. Not that I'm really worried about fighting them, mind you, but, you know. If we can avoid it, it feels like it would be appropriate to avoid fighting the dwarfs, I guess. Alrighty, and I think that was it for the heroes. This was from a previous confederation. You can... I mean, you could stay here and maybe meet up with these guys. We could probably cobble an army together real quick from all of you. And, oh, these guys are not going to like the trespassing. Go here. Well, I guess since you're already trespassing, go here. Can you go past this territory? No. Alrighty, well, that's a shame, but then rather than doing so, you're going to... Oh, that's going to take a long time, though. You know what? You wait here. If we trade this, then it won't matter. Though I hate to... You know what? Go into stance. There we go. Make it a little bit less costly. And these guys all have the bonus 10 armor, so I would like to put them to use instead of waiting to recruit. And now, Fay Enchantress... Well, actually, no, not Fay Enchantress. Mr... Really? Really, Sloppy Crookshank? You gonna be like that? I don't want him to run because, well, actually, you know what we'll do? We'll do this. Angeline Beringer, go here. We're gonna have you attack Sloppy Crookshank, pushing him past Albrecht towards Silent Isle, and thereby hopefully not wasting our movement points. Yes. Alrighty, now we declare war upon Sloppy.
You better have one or both.
Fair enough. Yes.
Absolutely not.
Then, we will attack Mr. Sloppy. I assume he's going to run. Yes. Alrighty, and I guess Angeline can leech a little bit of XP. Not that I don't imagine that we need her here, but on the other hand, we still have to attack the Silent Isle immediately after, so... wait, what do we have in terms of points on our Friar here? Shield of Faith, most definitely get that. And then what about our Paladin, who again, with the virtue of the Joust, is certainly worth keeping. And again, it makes sense in the Knights of the Realm heavy army that Mr. Alberic wants. And actually speaking... Oh! Wait, so if that was the last major confederation we got... Alright. Yeah. We'll leave Lewin and all of these factions, minus, you know, still grabbing their... We'll get there. Anyway, that will have given us, or all those confederations will have given us a fair few items that we can actually put to use now. Let's see what we got here. Not bad, but honestly not as many as I thought there would be. Anyway, let's see. I don't care for the Sword of the Quest, 16 weapon strength, and nor the Sword of Might. We got a Tormentor Sword out of it, a much, much better find, and I know exactly what army that's going to go into as well. It'll be the Range Cavalry army. Extinguished Phoenix Pinion. Well, we can actually keep the Potions of Strength. Iron Curse Icon isn't as useful in Bretonnia as it is for most other factions, I think, so that one we'll get rid of. Or at the very least... factions that tend to have monstrous mounts. Crown of Command, that's our second one. We will fuse these into another Trickster Shard. Good, always a good thing to have. Sword of Battle is fine. Spell Shield I don't really care that much for, but I don't think that we have anything that we necessarily want to swap it out with. Armor of the Midsummer Sun. 8 melee defense. It's not bad. Gotta admit it's not bad. Yeah, not really as many items as I would have liked, but oh well. We'll just have to pick up more. And, in fact, wait a moment. In fact, as soon as we're... You know what? Stop the Commission Carpenters. We're going to spend 10,000 gold and get Sacred Lakes. I don't really care about the number of uses for the army faction ability so much as I care about getting this. Restore Grail Chapel, giving us magic item drop chance from battle, plus 100%. I also care about the buffs for the Grail Relics. Or Battle Pilgrims, rather, not the Grail Relics. But anyway. Now that's nice. Let's give Alberic some items. He will, of course, be... He will, of course, have to be reset, but we're busy right now. This gives us 8 ward save. Yeah, go for the Grail Shield. And then Talisman, we alas have only 1 Talisman of Preservation, and it's on Franciscus de Mieux. And yeah, he's not a legendary lord, but I feel like he's earned it. Oh wow, is this basically the only one that we have? We have a couple of Talismans of Endurance. One is on the Fay Enchantress, and one is on Leon Lebel. I'm gonna have to take it from Mr. Lebel here. Unless I'm mistaken, that's the Knights of the Lion-Hearted army. Yeah. Alright, you have to go rescue Lewin together with Bertrand the Brigand. You're gonna have trouble by yourself because you only have Knights Errant, so go, go, go. And, oh, I was going to deliver you a couple of these guys. The, glowing horse-riding Sons of Bretonnia. Although I note... Wait. Retinue Quartermaster... Yeah, like I said, we'll put some of those into that army. Rather than damsels. They do have enough casting to be worth our time with the Earthblood and stuff. Alright. And then we'll try to grab another Son of Bretonnia. See if we get a decent one. Oh, I thought Booze Cravings was on Sons of Bretonnia, and I found that hilarious. Headhunter... I'm gonna say no. I mean, yeah, admittedly, in the all-night army, this might be more useful than in other armies. To use these guys to hunt down the enemy lords, but then... Would we do that rather than using paladins for that particular purpose? Who should, in theory, have better stats
At the lady's disposal.
for fighting duels than these guys? Meaning these guys are probably better off buffing via auras in some ways. Actually, what did I... for you? Oh, you have the attacky thing. Ha! The irony is real. Anyway, you know, I'm just gonna hold off on that for now. Alright, now, after all that, we are going to attack. So, let us go with Alberic. Hit Sloppy Crookshank, please. And away we go. We will fight this. That's a solid Skaven stack, even if we have 2 armies.
Fear not the enemy, for they lack the lady's light.
Alright, here we go. Fear not the enemy, but do dodge the Warp Lightning Cannons, because, well, that's a pretty deadly level of light. Anyway, we're gonna get the Wrath of Manan off into a blob of enemy clan rats here. Doing a little bit of damage, about 20%, nothing crazy. But better than nothing, obviously. It does apply Discouraged as well, though, which means anti-leadership, which may come in handy in the future, depending on how we set up Alberic's army exactly. Anyway, while we did technically have Alberic's debut last episode, it was a minor fight against a few March Stancing Museum vampire counts, and not certainly a proper army to challenge him. This will be his true debut battle. Although obviously not in the final form of his army. Anyway, he does have a lot of knights currently in his army, and they will ride back and forth, questing knights, knights errant, and knights of the realm alike, sending many a rat flying downhill, just knights charging from every direction. And it's not looking so good for the poor little ratlings. In the meantime, there were a couple of units of rat ogres hidden in the tree line on the left flank, and they will rapidly close the distance with the foot squires. No anti-large on our units, but we can hopefully fire over their heads and allow the bowmen to do a decent little bit of damage. The rat ogres are, after all, very lightly armored and should be fairly vulnerable to missile fire. Otherwise, while the rat ogres are still kicking, most of the enemy army is not. The bounce power is at about 85% in our favor, and those charges from the knights have not stopped since the beginning. And now the knights are working away on the critical units that remain alive, like those rat ogres and really whatever else. Oh, the rat ogres try to run from one unit only to get charged from the other direction by another unit of knights. Poor little fellas are not having a good day, and frankly neither is Sloppy Crookshank, as the bounce power shifts to about 95% in our favor. Alberic runs off a unit of Death Runners and will turn towards the enemy lord, and seeing him coming, it looks like the enemy lord shatters and the battle is ours, unsurprisingly. The enemy may try to escape, and the Skaven would normally be good at that, but because he ran away, there is no escaping for this army. Nice. Oh, and proper for Alberic to have his debuts at sea as well. All right, there we go. Solid knightly work out of the, well, knights. And one of the knights aren't actually kept up with the questing knights. The Knights of the Realm, while getting way less kills than everybody else, actually got a fair bit more damage dealt as gold value because they surrounded and destroyed that critical doom wheel that the enemy had, which thus was prevented from getting to our back lines. We didn't use our second army, so nothing for them. We'll take the cash, and we'll continue onward. Sorry, Mr. Sloppy. And, oh, the technology cost us 1,000 chivalry. Yes, that does make sense. Alrighty, a Biting Blade and Faction Destroyed Great Point Scuttlers. I guess we'll need to pump up our chivalry numbers. We're getting 169 from positive traits, but rating is actually significantly reducing our income. Not to worry, though. I think the rating will, well, we're going to keep doing it for now, but eventually, once we no longer need the cash so much, then we will not need to do that anymore. Anyway, you're going to go to Silent Isle, sir. And Alberic is directly able to attack from sea, so we'll maintain blockade for now. And I guess we then won't send the other army in? Oh, you're not in range anyway. Oh, there isn't another little stag that could... No, we're fine. Nobody panic. Alberic, you're going to attack in a bit, but let's spread out the fighting and whatnot. Oh. Fay Enchantress, you're also probably going to want to attack, won't you? Are there defenders at Zvorak? Barely. Are there armies of the Iron Clockworks threatening us anywhere? Not really.
We have met before.
In that light... Oh, I don't like the fact that Daith is here, though. What's the likelihood he attacks Kaz at Elgazund? He could. And is he a military ally with us? He is. Darn. We could wait the turn, or we could risk him taking Elgazund and then try to trade him something for it, maybe, if it happens. I think we'll risk it. Alright, you're gonna go to Grimhold. Like so. Nice. Then we will declare war upon these guys, and rather than join, we will directly declare, and oh, you know what? Normally I'd just do it, as in all other campaigns, but this time I'm going to quick save before doing this. The reason for this is sometimes the AI goes kind of nuts and cancels all of our agreements, and we spend too long generating Wood Elf units here. And I don't want to just randomly lose them, so we will ask them to join, but if everybody's like, nope, never mind, you lose all your outposts and stuff, you know what I mean? Call your allies to help.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we're fine.
Scream a bit before you...
But I wasn't willing to risk it not being fine. Then, before we do anything else, we will want to immediately recruit with... I mean, you're the one recruiting right now, so let's go Allied Recruitment. You will want to get the Wildwood Wardens, not the Rangers, from Talzin. Are we able to afford any of Kavarok's Sisters of Thorn? Close. Not quite, but very close. That other army does want them. Might even pop in a few Glade Riders with Hagbane tips into that army if we can manage it. What about the others? We cannot yet afford Eagles because we don't have a lot of stuff. Arguelon, oh, with Arguelon we need to upgrade the outpost. But we could do it later. It's not the most critical thing in the world right now. We have decent amounts of Sithral and Modron. Okay, so let's check Sithral and Modron. Modron, you have access to... You have Eagles. And I was looking to put a couple of Eagles in the Flying Army with the Paravon army. In fact, maybe we'll go for 4 Eagles in that particular army. And Sithral has nothing. Alright, so... we'll use Bohemond Berenger... Oh, you can't switch stances. Okay, you go here. Generate out of Modron 2 Eagles. Like so, and we'll get a couple more, as well as some Pegasus Knights and stuff. It'll be very nice. Alrighty, then we will want to summon the Green Knight right now. Who should immediately have... Oh, you won't immediately be able to move? Oh, game. I thought he would be able to. That's unfortunate. Oh well, not much we can do about it. Active turns remaining 20. So effectively, this means he only gets 19 turns instead of 20. Game. Should do it to 21 turns if he can't start by immediately popping into an army. Rude. Anyway, annoying though it may be, there isn't anything we can do about it. You hit this Vorak. Luan will reinforce with Gotrek and Felix just to level up while we await their caravan. And wow, really?
My magic is yours.
I mean, we could fight this, but frankly, I don't think it's going to be that interesting of a fight, and we fought the Greenskins a lot. We're going to send the Fay Enchantress like this to reinforce, and she should still be able to reach Arnalos afterwards. Now we can attack and presumably not take a lot of damage. Still an insane amount of damage, but nah, that's life. Occupy. Like so, and hero for Renee. Good. Scepter of Stability, and yes, we're picking up some items. Lovely. And a Forbidden Rod for Prophetess of the Heavens. No, those go on Prophetesses of the... of life. Or Damsels of Life, whichever. You, Fay Enchantress, attack Arnalos, which is similarly poorly defended. And we will... Really? Medium casualties? You know what? We might not be able to auto-resolve that. We might have to fight it real quick. If it is slightly annoying. If you go into March stance, would you be able to add something that you could reach Arnalos and leech the additional little bit of XP? So salty about this. Anyway. Alright, we did that. Now let's fight again with Albrecht. And, ooh, get that shipping lane up and running as well for the additional tradable resources and stuff. We'll have it for a couple of turns until we reset him. Frankly, decent likelihood we reset him immediately out of the Silent Isle. Although, we could move to land at Alcazaro first, which would allow us to move Franciscus to Potes instead, which may be a good idea. If we could take out Nawpit, which is the enemy's capital, that would also help cripple the faction rather rapidly.
What is your behest?
Like so. And Nawpit, you are indeed, yes. Oh, you're actually not a tier 5, but you will be by the time we get there, meaning we can capture you at tier... whatever, 4. I can count to 4. Screw you. Anyway, you guys, it's time to realmify. Knights of the Realm. There we go. Your Alberic specialty. And since you're gonna be... actually, that's a question. These guys are also looking to upgrade 2 Knights of the Realm, and they are all named, so... Oh, and you have to be delivered to Bowmen Beastslayer, meaning we should probably send him down here as well. Oh, okay, so many things to do now. Alrighty, I guess we're attacking like this. In our current state, then. Oh. We got the shield last time. We don't have Soulfire yet. I guess go for Impassioned. We should actually start saving for Healer, but it's in a couple of turns, or in a couple of points, rather, that we should do that. You can go Blade Shield and into Colossal Strike, and I believe we're good to go. And go we shall. Fight. Gotta watch out for those Cairn Wraiths again. Albrecht, you do have magical attacks. You know what? Maybe we'll send you after the Cairn Wraiths. They did a lot of damage to the Knights last time around. The reason these 3 questing Knights are all hurt is because they fought a unit of Cairn Wraiths, but without magical damage, weren't really able to do anything to them. Anyway, go.
Today, Bretonnia rejoices, for we are her shield.
Today, Bretonnia rejoices, for we are her shield. I mean, aren't you normally her shield? So, shouldn't she be rejoicing every day? Is that what you're getting at? But anyway, I digress. Here we go. More Albericking coming in, and The first thing that I wanted to do is make sure to try to find those Cairn Wraiths and hit them with the Wrath of Manan. I'm not going to do a crazy amount of damage at about 20% of their HP, but obviously better than nothing. Alberic will close the distance with the enemy Vargeist for a little bit of air superiority in order to make sure that they can't reach our back lines, while the zombies are going to get punted by the Knights of the Realm and the questing Knights alike, who are going to head to different directions of the battle. Though they are going to mob or blob up a teensy bit. It does look like Alberic is quickly overcoming the Vargeists, who are down to about 30% of their HP and have lost a couple of their number. And it looks like he's done enough damage for his Paladin to take over, while Alberic, who does have magical damage as we saw during battle prep, will move towards those Cairn Wraiths, which have been looping around us and are moving towards our Foot Squires, who they very well could easily obliterate. Speaking of Foot Squires, another unit of them moves to defend the Bowmen. And with those great swords of theirs should take out the bats fairly easily, though keeping in mind the bats have a very high melee defense, and it does occasionally take a while for the units to bring them down, depending on which units. Anyway, Alberic crashes into the back line of those Cairn Wraiths, and they are not happy about it. Weak binding already. And by the looks of it, they will present us not too much of a problem this time around, though they still managed to do a solid nearly half a HP damage to that unit of Foot Squires. Good for them. I'm looking around at all the different banners that every unit has as well. Alright, well the Cairn Wraiths are out. The Knights continue to do their work as usual, just disrupting the enemy formations and charging wheresoever they may. And once again, the questing knight there has a pretty darn big banner. Again, you can't see anything like that. Well, I guess the horse is doing most of the work anyway, so, yeah. Anyway, does look like we did get trapped a little bit. There are some Grave Guard with halberds here, and therefore cavalry bane on them, slowing us down and preventing ease of acceleration. On the bright side, those units that managed to close the distance with our Foot Squires are pretty much out, and our great swords are banishing theirs. And there we go. Though generally speaking, I think you can overbuff a unit of Grave Guard much higher than you can overbuff a unit of Foot Squires, though ignoring spell, of course. I mean, via, like, auras and stats and stuff. And support units. One Unholy Lodestone with a Master Necro riding, and good luck dealing with that Graveguard like that in a one-on-one between them. But anyway, I digress. The balance power is at about 90% in our favor. Alberic has found the enemy vampires and has nearly killed off the vampire hero, while the Paladin briefly distracts the enemy lord. There we go. Alright, and now it's time for both of them to take care of the enemy lord, who will probably drop rapidly. He still has solid melee attack, but it's probably not going to be enough. A last few couple of charges from our knights as the Foot Squires close the distance and hack apart those dusty old bones full of green dust. And I just saw one of the knights get brought down by a hail of arrow fire by our peasant units. So somebody's going to have a bad day. Not that the peasants ever have good days, mind you, but anyway, I digress. With that, the enemy lord melts away, and the last of the enemies melt away as well. I should have probably told these guys to stop firing at this point. Yeah, but then we wouldn't have gotten nice shots like that. That was a pretty good pin cushioning of that one particular Graveguard. I would say worth it. Alrighty, there we go. Solid work with the, by the looks of it, Knights of the Realm actually, at least in part, either keeping up or outdoing the questing knights again, thanks to Alberic's buffs most likely. And very, very nice. And with that, I do believe Mousillon is done. Would have been nice to see the Red Duke, but I think he got destroyed, his army got destroyed by Aquitaine before we confederated, so it is what it is. What does this give you? Even more bonus versus large? in a decent area. Man, the bonus versus large in the Knights of the Realm is going to be freaking insane in this particular army, which is why we'll have both foot and non-foot variants of them in this particular force. Anyway, we will occupy the place. Also solid, what was it, 22,000 damage or something like this out of Alberic himself. And definitely earning his debut battle here, doing well in his debut battle. I don't know if this would be a good time to reset him. Because he has to sit here for a turn anyway.
Duke of Bretonnia.
We don't have a lord that we could pop in here, though, unfortunately. So we'd have to get another lord. I don't mind the cunning crownless lord, especially since he would thus be essentially a poison arrow lord. It's not bad. It's not great because a strategist and tactician would obviously be better, though. Anything else here that we would really potentially want to get? The ladies' favor ones are always generally nice. Generous spirit ones are always nice. Maybe we could go with the generous spirit and then, you know, swap out later. These guys are going to be back in one turn, but they're not going to take command of this army. They will be getting their own armies.
Untarnished.
Alrighty, so in that light, you know what, Alberic, leave this. We're going to spend the money to get a generous prophetess. Like so.
Prophetess.
Yes, prophetess. We will put you in here. We'll inspiring presence. You will want to... Oh, where do you will deal with this yourself?
Your coming was
Root Marcher. And we'll want to get Shield of Thorns, Earthblood, and Lifeblood. While you briefly command this force, Alberic, you will transfer everybody here. Then, before we reset you, let's do building. Because he does reduce this stuff. The ports, and we'll definitely want to make good use of that. Brothel. Always have to have more brothels. We could put a sacred pool in here. We would have room. Is there anything else that generates money? I mean, we could get a Chapel of the Lady, but it would only generate money for other provinces than this one. So I think that's it for the money generators, so it's a decent place to build a sacred pool just by virtue of the fact that there's no room for anything else. Or we could do any kind of capacity. We'll see how much money we have left, though, after this. Turin, let's go for the Chapel of the Lady, since the thing we had originally built is no longer necessary. Oh! We had a tailor here. I just haven't decided whether that's the better option, because originally I figured that the Chapel of the Lady wouldn't be worth it by virtue of not connecting to enough territories, but this is no longer quite the case. We'll do one-on-one. Chapels at least generate us some chivalry as well, which has another benefit to it. Aquitaine, keep upgrading that Brigand base. As well as the landed estate, we will also want to convert... Well, actually, we don't want to convert you, because we want to build a similar sort of thing here. After we build this, another Grail Chapel, or Chapel of the Lady. We'll build a town here, a farm here. A royal barracks will be built here, and then deleted out of here. Beautiful. Brigand. Obviously, the water wheels. You need to be converted into a royal menagerie of Valor, because it's a better building. And we will upgrade the town as well here. Grave of Quila, yes to the water wheel. So then we will go for Chapel of the Lady here. And a free port / fishing harbor. And then here we will need capacities of some type. I did say we wanted more of the Brigand bases for more faceless, and they do generate money. Thusly, any territory that... Any territory that is technically a money-making territory will want those instead of the outlaws' camps. Actually, just out of curiosity, this gets us all the way up to Brigand crossbows, but can't build Harimo or Harimo chasseur, and this can effectively do the same thing. It does give us post-battle loot. I did say I wanted to build a few of these in the mountains somewhere, but we'll do that later. Anyway, you're gonna go for the Brigand thing. I'm just gonna have to be wary of overdoing too many of these because of the chivalry loss. Alrighty, anyway, let's go for Chapel of the Lady, let's go for Landed Estate, and then I guess, well, this is a decent option for another Cutpurse camp / Brigand camp because it's in the mountains. And we already have the Chapel of the Lady. Huh, I built the Grail Shrine here, but maybe we swap that out for another Faceless camp here? Maybe. Let's do that. Alright, Bordeleux, what do you want? Alright, Bordeleux Wine Market. I don't know if we can afford you anymore. Or at the very least, in this particular turn, we'll find out. Upgrade you. Upgrade the grazing pastures. Gotta get this place maximum growth ASAP. Again, we have limited time in which to make use of the infrastructure thing. We have one more turn, I think. Actually, do we even have it anymore? Russian Bordeleux, Confederation... 2 more turns, okay. A little bit worried there for a second. Let's upgrade Visaya to the next tier. Now these ports will be nice as well, since we have Alberic, or will have Alberic in 3 turns again. And obviously farms, and then you can start with the windmill because of the adjacency bonus of growth that it provides. You wood and me wood, I mean fields, and then we will go for Chapel of the Lady. Livestock pens, River of Echoes. We are not building anything here. Why did I click you? Why do I fear success? Farm, pottery, and chapel. And this is close enough to confer adjacency bonuses by the looks of it. Then tavern into chapel and River Grismarie. You will go for the farm. You will go for the livestock pens and the farm, I guess. I feel like the ones that are adjacent to the mountains are the better places to build the military structures. Especially if the dwarfs attack, they will have a tougher time dealing with them. As Vorak, we will uncollect the money here. We will build the stone cutter. We will not be able to keep the Barracks of Valor, I think, so we'll delete it. Don't care about the fortresses. They are effectively useless. Azwara. Here we will need to build the basic walls because, again, the rats are everywhere and they're going to cause problems, as they do. And then the Lakoros. You know what? Let's upgrade you for now. I don't know if we'll ever keep using you or whatever, but we'll upgrade you and build you up for now. I'm again still salty that these guys rather wiped out the wood elves there. And I feel like we should reclaim the magical forests. Actually, it could potentially be a goal for the campaign to make sure that we reclaim this magical forest, and this magical forest, and then trade them to wood elves. Yes. Make ourselves useful in this alliance. Also, oh, you're gonna spend 5,000 gold. You know what I should have done? It would have been cheaper probably to build 1 billion peasants and send them to occupied. 3,000 gold.
Lord of Bretonnia.
Do I really want to do that though?
We have met before.
It's 5,000 gold, which is considerable. In fact, it's the cost of the Bordeleux wine market, or at least a little bit less. You know, you wait here. I don't think anybody's in range, so I think you're free to stay here for a moment. I don't think this guy can immediately move to Martel. Yeah, he's probably going to lose Barfleur as well. And frankly, with the pastures there, it's probably good. Anyway, let's see what else we've got. Fay Enchantress. All right, let's manually fight this real quick. I guess what we could do is we could have the Grail Knights watch while the rest of our units fight. There is that. Although the trolls might be something of an issue. Yeah, let's do this little fight. Alrighty, here we go. I'm just now realizing that the Holy Wardens of the Maison Tal would actually look fairly good with the, together with the Beast Slayers of Baston, because they have both a yellowish color scheme. But anyway, I digress. The Grail Knights will not be participating this time. They will just be sitting here watching as the peasants do all the fighting. And, well, you know what? That seems that seems like it happens a decent amount. And they've got a nice little elevated position to watch the action, and of course protecting the 2 units of artillery pieces. And we'll see if the enemy attempts to close with them. But our damaged units of peasants or peasant mobs and battle pilgrims will be the ones fighting the enemy, since they're a smaller stack. And besides, our Grail Guardians at this point are maxed out in terms of their experience. It's time to let the peasants put in a little bit more work. You know, carry their share of the weight, as it were. Alright, fortunately, with the Fay Enchantress here to both heal and buff our units with things like the... I was about to say Curse of the Midnight Wind, but yes, Curse of the Midnight Wind over on this side after the Helm of Discord, but the Shield of Thorns over on this side. Alright, and of course, while our Grail Knights are not participating, our heroes very much are. There's that Curse of the Midnight Wind I was waiting for. Oh, I used the Shield of Thorns first, then this thing. I have a tendency to forget things. Anyway. Well, the battle continues, but it's a simple brawl this time around with the Curse of the Midnight Wind on the Orc Boys. They're at 0-0 stats, so they're not going to have a good time on the right flank. Over on the left flank, the most dangerous position is taken by the Resistance's Feudal, most likely, as they are getting hit by Orc Biggins as well as some Trolls, but we did keep our Paladins up in the air, and one Paladin per enemy Troll unit, essentially. Kept them from doing too much work. Since this flank was a little bit less, or a little bit more dangerous rather than the right flank, we also did send our Friar, who's a bonkin' enemies here. And obviously providing the various buffs to our own units, huh? And if this is the right Paladin, is this the Aura of Armor? Yes, indeed it is. So we got solid 67 armor on the Battle Pilgrim. This ain't too bad at all. I wonder if Yenbo is still alive. If we could ally with Yenbo and get a War Drum, Battle Pilgrims with War Drums in their armies would have a gold shield on top of the bonus 25 armor. And that would be very, very nice for them. Although, granted, the main problem there is that, well, in Battle Pilgrim armies, the War Drums would just constantly be focused down by everything. But anyway, the bounce back has shifted to about 95% in our favor, and with the enemy trolls running away, we're going to send the Grail Knights to chase the trolls down while we finish the enemy off. The left flank has, perhaps unsurprisingly, collapsed, as we did commit more of our forces there. Let's see, over on this side, Resistance's Feudal got 42 kills and 10,000 damage, pretty solid. And we got 65 kills on the Reliquary Tenders. And I think those two were the ones that did the best. This flank was protected and the Fay Enchantress was here, so, yeah. Actually, the Tartan army, it's at 52 kills on the Holy Wardens of the Maison Tal. It's nice that we have more Battle Pilgrims now as well, so our infantry line is free to do lots of work. Though I've been sort of interspersing the Battle Pilgrims amongst the piles of peasants, as in the peasant mobs. It is allowing them to use them more as meat shields, but on the other hand, it will decrease their DPS. But we can outlast most enemies with the Fay Enchantress healing. But anyway, not important. What is important is that the orcs are defeated without the need for Grail Knights or Grail Guardians. Alrighty, there we have it. Our mobs of peasants just took care of the enemy army, with the exception of one Vorboy unit, without the need for the Grail Knights, who simply stood by to guard our artillery pieces, which again is annoying that we have to guard them, but well, in this particular case, it was what we wanted. Occupy. Alright, and another engineer's knapsack. Nice, that'll be a nice item for Bertrand's army. Actually, speaking of Bertrand's army, are you going to be able to reach this here? One of these paladins, I believe it was you, with the Virtue of Discipline. I was going to put you into Renee's army, because I don't see the need to have two paladins in this particular army, and I like the bolstered armor out of Virtue of the Ideal much more than I like the little buff over there. Then Reolas Beaumont, I would like you to... wait a moment. What did I want you to do? These guys are supposed to eventually become waylayers, eh? The only thing is that these axes have the armor upgrade. We could have you recruit some non-upgraded variants. Only something to think about. On the other hand, this way we could just get them moving immediately. Yeah, let's just get them moving. Alrighty, Bertrand, I would like you to grab, or Reolas rather, I would like you to grab from Bertrand all 4 of these Brigand Raiders, who will become Erimo Chasseur. Then we will have another Faceless, putting us to 17, and another Sisters of the Thorn, putting us to 18, and then if we want, we can put in a Caster or 2, or a couple of Glade Riders, and then we'll be good. Or we could do 2 Glade Riders with poison arrows. I'll lose one of the Brigands, or Waylayers eventually. And then put in a mage as well. We don't need the Friar. Well, actually, we could keep a Friar in this army now that I think about it. You know what? You, go into this army. You have Cunning, which is good. Oh, right, we did have one of these guys with Cunning. Yeah, go here. Increase mobility. I would like this army to be able to travel a little bit further. And then, just out of curiosity, or once again, we are taking how many points until we can recruit the Sisters of the Thorn? So 2 more turns, assuming we don't destroy all nearby orcs. Alright, fair enough. Rayolas, you are going to be the vanguard to Lewin's beleaguered territories, so ye shall go up here. And away you go, buddy. And we'll get you whatever else you need in hopefully short order. We still need additional capacities of the spies, and I did want that strategist. I believe you're cunning as well, though. And I would like another cunning one here. Yeah, it makes sense to have all 3 cunning. Yeah. Now, alright. You guys are good. Leon, you have moved this turn. We'll get to the Knights of Lionhearted eventually, but they're so stupidly expensive that right now I'm going to forego it. I don't like the Brigand Écocheurs in this army. I prefer the Waylayers, just because these guys... I don't think their look matches the aesthetic of this particular army. They look too fancy. In that light, first of all, these guys are going to be upgraded to Brigand Waylayers regardless. Like so. I could have just upgraded and handed this guy 3 of these guys and, you know, we'll let him go on his merry way. And then we're going to side grade the... Huh? What? Oh! The Écocheurs cannot be side-graded? Oh, that's a little bit unfortunate. Alright, you're gonna be a Waylayer. Then what we'll do is one of you is gonna grab the Écocheurs and deliver it. You're confident Crownless Lord with bow, and you're a confident Crownless Lord in melee. Since Rabble Rouse is of use in melee and not really of use in range, I'm going to say we'll give you the Écocheur, and we'll have you deliver them southward to the beloved of the people, Duke, who is going to put some of these guys to use. I think they'll sort of work nicely with his men-at-arms, because they'll both look fancy. Alrighty. You can keep the Waylayers for now, though again, I may swap them out later. You will also then want to recruit a bunch of Brigand crossbows. Actually, technically speaking, I did want to get you a Faceless. At least one in your army. Oh, and this Friar will be replaced by... Oh, you're another Cunning Friar. Actually, speaking of, how many more turns until the wounded fella is back? You've been wounded for a while now, right? 1 turn, okay, well. Then you can be swapped out to one of these guys or another army. We'll hold on to the 4 Waylayers. You and you can be upgraded to Arimo now. And we're not doing Arimo Chasseurs in this army because they don't have stock, so we'll be mixing Arimo with Aspirant Hoods. And we'll see what else we have room for. Again, one of these will most likely be taken out for a Faceless. And then we'll see. If I feel like it's too many, maybe it'll be, but if, assuming that each one of these Arimo and the Bowmen of Bergerac have a Aspirant Hood unit with them, it'll be fine. I think that'll work. Anyway, Bertrand, you sit there for a bit because recruiting because, well, you had a lot of fighting lately. You. I'm going to say we'll head to Potes and not to Alcazaro. It's also pretty poorly defended. Still very concerned about these guys marching on this way, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. Auto-resolve this, it's not much. But the real target is the enemy's capital. And hey, that, I guess, transferred enough XP to get Beaumont his Hippogriff. Though, again, I might just put him on the ground with the other regiments of renown, because I like the way it looks. Maline du Tremere, you will proceed to Grung Ikri. We will use Lord Daith to reinforce. For a quick little auto-resolve, and we'll use the other 2 to leech XP. These guys still need to be upgraded to Pegasus Knights as well.
My sight is yours.
My sight is yours.
Yeah. And then these 2 will eventually travel back for their own armies, but for now they will continue leeching XP. Otto, wait. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Break them.
How to resolve. And no significant damage. Huh! Would you look at that? The Wood Elf army got hurt and ours didn't. Perhaps because the Wood Elves move faster than we do? Occupy. That works for me. Actually, that works really well, because them being wounded means they might not go after Castle Elgazund. War Horse for Gustav the Savior, sure. Blessing of the Lady, double sure. Good. What else do we have? Inez and Verna don't need to move. Fleur of the Braid also does not need to move. Just rename her to Fleur of the Money. You've been moved. Gustav, I was just talking about you, and you have been moved. Jolene, you are waiting for the last of your units, which are including a Grail... Wait. You wanted the Grail Relic, you wanted both of the Battle Pilgrims, you wanted one unit of... Oh, you wanted the Royal Pegasus Knights, because we need NT large in this particular army, because it's just Battle Pilgrims. So you're gonna have to wait for one more turn at least. Grail Knights, which puts it at 15. 2 more damsels. Puts it at 17, and then 3 friars puts it at 20 out of 20. Why 3 damsels? Because each one of them gives a plus 13% weapon strength, 3 plus 10 for all peasant units. And this is our Ladies' Favor army with the massive buffs towards the Grail Relics and Battle Pilgrims. There are 9 of these guys, and there will be 1 damsel plus 1 Grail Relic plus 1 friar to each individual unit, and the army will operate in three sort of subsections, with the prophetess, the leading prophetess, sort of moving where needed with a single unit of Grail Knights. What do we have here in terms of friars? So you're fleet-footed, which I like, but in this particular army isn't super necessary. You are disciplined, which is again nice. Let's grab this booze-craving one. And I mean, I like the character XP gain, but otherwise this is kind of meh. On the other hand, character XP gain is pretty valuable. You know, I'm just gonna get the ball on field. They'll have army. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that because of the cost. That's too late now, so whatever, it's done. It's done. And then we'll need to pay attention to the damsels to get ones that we want. Sanctified has Guardian. That's actually a decent option. You are of the Heavens. Here we have a Sanctified Damsel of the Heavens, of course we do. Okay, well then, not in this army. Alright, fair enough. What else do we got here? Oh, how's the recruitment, by the way? Do we have any space? We do have space. Ooh, I like that. We are going for brigands because we need to upgrade them to a cocher, but then we can do standard brigands for that. Oh, these guys are expensive. You know what? We'll need money next turn, so we'll wait on this. Let us instead get... what do we want? Oh, let's build a couple of trebs. There's at least one army where we'll need trebs. Let us also do... I did want to get some peasant mobs, that we have some extra that we got from our allies. And did I build enough of the battle pilgrims for Rapunz? Or the men-at-arms and maces for Rapunz, rather? In fact, wait, Rapunz is here. How many maces do we have with you? No, not you, you. Oh, you only have 2 maces? Alright, we gotta get more maces. You know what? Then cancel the... cancel one of the brigands. You know, we'll rebuild the brigands later. I'd rather save the money and then build the maces for now. Okay, just build a bunch of maces. I don't know how many we'll need, but maybe you can never have too many maces. Maybe get a couple battle pilgrims. There we go. Alrighty. Again, they are our faction sort of thing. Alright, you will be ready to transfer next turn. You are waiting for your 2-turn recruitment. Good. Rapunz is waiting as well. And we'll go and just sort of stay nearby. Beaumont, you are trying to deliver most of these units here, with actually the exception of the Pegasus Knights, which are supposed to go into another army. But I'd like you to deliver them, or transfer them to one of these units, and then reset yourself. If you're wondering why I'm using him to deliver them, it's because his vows and troths are making these guys a lot less expensive than they would be on a cheap random lord. Also, Tormund Beaumont. Who the heck are you? Yeah. Huh. Must have been a lord I missed. Oh. Okay, what about this damsel? Favored by the lady. Very nice. Alright, we will be able to put you to use. So go here to the hub. And Torment, I guess we're gonna reset you. I don't think we need to really deliver these peasants anywhere. I mean, I guess we could give them to somebody, but I don't think anybody's nearby, and I don't care enough about them. Yeah, just go away. Disband. Oh. Disband. And reset. Oh, lovely. Alright, anybody else? I'd like to do one more fight this particular episode if possible, so I'd like to end the turn. Therefore, you are sitting still. You are... Margot. I don't remember where I was sending you. Oh, I wanted you to meet up with this army. And then transfer stuff down here. And then I believe we kept you because you had something... Huh. I don't know why I kept you. Maybe just so that this army was viable for now. Alright, let's transfer. Let's send you up here. Move these two armies together and then we'll see. You're probably strong enough to go and take Grungzint and prevent these guys from, you know, keeping on annoying our Bretonnian friends. Agnes, you're fine. The tech thief. You are not fine because you need to thief some tech because you're gonna run out of the tech thievery. Success, good. And how much? Oh, you've run out. Damn it. Alright, we'll need to do that next turn then. Can't be messing with that. Dorian Walden, you're here for one of these armies, to join one of these armies, rather. Aurelian Le Jongleur, you're fine. I guess I moved all of the tech thieves then, yes? No. Wait, Esme Le Guardian is not one of them, and Agnes is not. Alright, then we're fine. Alright, then a diplomacy check real quick. I feel like we haven't done one of these in a while. Yep. See? Trade agreements. Gotta go with Continental Exarchate. And not the Military Alliance.
Now.
Sound judgment.
Sound judgment indeed. Alrighty, and then we're ignoring the Southern Realms because we don't like how Monte Castello wiped out one of the Wood Elf factions, and I don't know, man. I don't know if we can let them live. Arguelon, no, we're not military alliancing with you because I don't trust Durthu and his mania, and I believe that's it. Alright, so, Caravans, we have 1 and 8 turns, or 5 and 8 turns rather. Skip. Outpost, damage building, commandment, don't skip. Realm of Chivalry at Castle Sanglac, and outpost upgrade available. We do want one, but we don't want to pay for one right now. Oh, another commandment. Gotta go for the Realm of Chivalry. And now we're free to end the turn. Can we get attacked anywhere? Possibility exists, so it's probably not a major possibility. Let's find out. I thought I moved you. Oh wait, no, that was the other guy. There's 2 Gustavs that were both following Bertrand. Hence my palpable confusion. Fortunately, Bertrand will recruit his troops fast and we'll be able to move north. And then we can upgrade his crossbows to Erimo and upgrade his Erimo to aspirant hoods, and then we should have his full stack rather fast. Minus the faceless that we still want in here. Or possibly 2 faces, depending. They do buff the army. I'd put another damsel in there, frankly, for the additional range, but I'm not sure there's all that much use for one. I believe the damsel we put in this army is of beasts, and that's the kind we want. Lewin, how you doing there, buddy? You're fighting the Skull Smashers, eh? If you could just succeed at fighting at least one faction, I would be forever grateful. Better not lose all your territory once we return it to you. This is reminding me of reclaiming the realms in Thorgrim's campaign. And frankly, any kind of comparison to Thorgrim's campaign is the height of praise. Because that campaign was fantastic. Anyway, we are at the end of the turn, no attacks. Alright, fair enough. The question then, Bloodfeather destroyed, burn the Witch retired army. All armies faction-wide versus... I gotta go with Burned Fields. Most of our armies have the bonus replenishment from a friar, so we should be okay. Panic has gripped the peasantry as rumors of a curse-hurling, child-snatching witch abound in local villages. Fair enough. And burn the witch, yep. I mean, burning some random person is definitely not the Not that unusual for the peasants. I'm pretty sure I recall them either burning or killing some Wood Elven emissaries, so yeah. I assume the Wood Elves and then promptly wiped that village out. But that's the Wood Elves for you. They've attacked and wiped out lots of sort of order-tied factions, taking out towns and villages from Bretonnia, from Empire, from dwarfs. There's definitely a few Carracks that were besieged, and probably minor towns and stuff that was destroyed, just from my vague recollections. Anyway, we got a nice little fight with our new dwarf allied caravan here. Draw weapons. This is their first fight. Got a manticore, but otherwise it'll be nice to see some dwarfen units in action with ours. And hey, the foot squires we got are SFO foot squires, not the vanilla foot squires that we have here, or at the very least ones with wrong stats, which is good. That's why these ones will be replaced. The Knights of the Realm are as they should be, I think. I gotta double check if 14k is what they're supposed to have, but anyway, go.
Ha! They dare hope to best the might of a unified Bretonnia!
I note that the Quarrelers, since this is our dwarfen caravan, only use the blue portion of our color scheme and don't borrow the orange portion. So I guess Dwarf Warriors only use the primary color scheme and not the secondary at all? That's kind of surprising. They look exactly like Karazakarak Dwarf Warriors, but anyway. Well, actually their blue is not quite as dark, but anyway, the Dwarf Warriors and Quarrelers will wait with our main infantry lines, but we do have 2 units of Knights of the Realm in this particular army, and we will give the enemy a quick couple of charges while we take position. We will have to be careful, as there is a Manticore as well as the enemy Beast Lord in here, and they will, if we're not careful... Ooh, some nice air there. They will, if we're not careful, be able to kill off a few models of those knights. I'm hoping that if the Manticore moves towards our main line, we can A, pincushion it, and B, surround it with the knights who are anti-large. Though frankly, if it wants to go for our lord in this manner, this actually works quite nicely for us. Our lord will turn and then sort of position the enemy Manticore so we can fire into its back. And we can hold it in place for a few seconds while the dwarf quarrelers bring it down. A little bit of help from the peasants, I suppose. And speaking of peasants, we have the regular dwarf warriors deployed over all the way on the right and left flanks, as they're the most dangerous position, and the dwarfs can hold them for a little bit longer, probably even than our foot squires, as they have higher melee defense. The foot squires are then more central to our battle line, and then in the very center we have the men-at-arms with shields, which are weak, but we expected the dangerous portion of the enemy army to hit our flanks and not our center, where our range firepower is concentrated. And thusly, we're going to send the garbage men-at-arms with shields to basically chase down enemy Ungor raiders with their bows, who are of no real threat to them while we cut them down. And by the looks of it, the battle is very nearly ours now. The enemy's surrounded by dwarf warriors and foot squires. And of course, our Knights of the Realm continue charging into the blob whenever they get the opportunity. And damn well do they get a lot of opportunities to charge, as we've already seen many a time in this campaign. Anyway, trying to close the distance with the enemy Beast Lord with Guillaume here, although in pure stats, I think a Bretonnian Lord would lose. So we're probably in good shape here, just attacking various Gors and Ungors. Because in a sort of equal level, we've seen the level 1 versus level 1, I believe, Orc War boss, and the Orc War... Wait, actually it was a Goblin Big Boss, I believe, that defeated one of our Bretonnian basic lords pretty handily. Again, obviously no points set up in the fighting tree. But anyway, not important. What is important is another charge comes in from the Knights of the Realm, and I do believe that shakes the last of the Gore herd, and only the Beast Lord remains in the fight. And a few more hits. Apparently, I'm surprised that he hasn't shattered yet, but I would imagine he's not going to be kicking around for too much longer. Ah, I see. A couple of units have rallied, but not to worry. another charge from one of our Knights of the Realms units through both of those units that had previously rallied. Sees the first shatter of the Goreherd Waver. And in a few seconds, shatter as well, forcing the Beast Lord to shatter and giving the battle to us. Alright, lovely. Quick little fight. Great work out of the Dwarfen line, including Quarrelers and Dwarf Warriors alike, which give us a lot more mileage than our own men-at-arms do in terms of just holding the line. And the Quarrelers can probably in some way do decently well at protecting the peasants, both from enemy range fire, thanks to their silver shields and armor, and from enemy melee attacks, or just enemy attacks, as they can at least hold them back for a lot longer than the peasant bows can. Especially with nearly double their leadership. But anyway, a lovely little debut for our Dwarfen caravan. Let's see how many dwarf units we can get into this one. Alrighty, there we go. The dwarfs working together nicely with our Bretonnian units, and now we have a elven caravan, a dwarfen caravan, and an imperial caravan. Though admittedly, the imperial caravan has at this point sort of devolved into Empire plus Kislev, so we could always do a sole imperial caravan if we really wanted to. Both of them together is pretty nice as well. Anyway, this is kind of giving us the opportunity to use order-tied units without having to wait for allegiance, which is also quite lovely, isn't that? Just as Ladriel intended. Don't worry, Ladriel's not real. She can't hurt you. Ransom captives, and yeah, it's the only option, really. Yeah, take the money. Alrighty, and I believe, yes, technology, Are you done? Cracker Ravensfang destroyed. Huh. Trontio begins outpost construction, ready for duty. Guy Le Gros. EU can return to Bertrand's army. Oh. EU, Friar. You've been doing good here, but you can now increase mobility of this army. Whereas Guy Le Gros will return to increase mobility in Bertrand's army, and Bertrand is already ready to go and return, as is Theodric de Brigand, Hagen de Gisoro, and Gaspard Le Beau. Also, I do apologize for anyone who speaks French in the audience for my butchering of your language, but, well, it's what I do, people. I'm trying, okay? La grenouille mange le pamplemousse. Anyway, let's move Bertrand out here. I'm almost actually tempted to send him to these mountains, because we have the other army moving this way. Would it actually be faster to cross here? Maybe it would. Alright, go this way. And then, oh, I guess you're following, buddy. You're following. And Bemund, you have to... Huh. You have to cross as well? Darn. Alright, well, both of you are crossing. No choice in the matter. And number of uses for faction army ability, good. And Gustav, you are... Now, since you don't have to get here rapidly, I'm almost tempted to have... transfer, even at the extra cost, maybe just transfer the units out of Bohemond's army so we can reset him. Maybe that is the way to do it. Anyway, folks, with that, we are out of time, and the last thing I want to do this episode before we call it is, get this, restore Grail Chapels. I've been waiting for this one. Get that magic item drop chance, plus 100%. Ooh. Though we have dropped down in chivalry, we'll get it back up, Slaneshi giggle, and we'll be good to go eventually. Plus, the Green Knight is back, and we just need to make sure to level him quickly with as much fighting as ladyingly possible. Anyway, stay tuned for more Fay Enchantress. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.